How are you doing? I haven't been on for ages, I know. So I'd like to apologise to anyone who actually watches my videos, especially to those who have subscribed. But in my defence, we're a very rare occurrence in Britain. We had a summer. The last one I remember was in the 80s. So that aside, so I haven't done a great deal on the plane at all. As you can see, the engine bays are on, and the motors are attached off the Mosquito that I crashed when I did the sort of motor tests. Right, the floats, easy enough to make. It's just a lump of wood and you draw around it as we've done umpteen times before, and then you shape them out. Then I would paint them with the household paint because it needs to be waterproof, but this is the bit that needs a bit of attention. Start off by measuring where you're going to make your holes in the wing, because we added in the extra strength along the third spar in there to take these sort of stanchions. Incidentally, if you're doing yours as the plan, then sort of disregard this, of course. But anyway, so we added in sort of the strengtheners. Now you have to make the holes, but obviously you don't want to make a hole on the main spar. Easier if I can show you this, I think. So as you can see, the main spar runs along here, so just make it slightly inbound of the main spar. So measure where that would be from the wing tip to there, and then to the back one. Now the spacing between those two I've got is 3 inches. So basically make holes in the floats at 3-inch spacings, and also so it matches up to the bottom of there, so when it's underneath the wing it'll sit straight. Now up on the plan here we can see that if that's the bottom of the wing there, you've got a slightly higher nose than a tail on the float. Now I've measured that and it's a centimetre. So what I've done is I've taken these 4 pieces of arrows, essentially it's sort of glass arrows, made some holes into the bench and got them so they're nice and square upright. So what I'm going to do is, you make your holes in there, exactly the same, drop them on, like that, and just basically set them up so the nose is a centimetre lower to the bench than the tail. The length of these, it doesn't really sort of matter that much, because what I'll be doing is, and this is my own idea, we'll put some rubber tubing over there so we can slide the float up and down so it just skims the water. Because if you make it like the plan, it's pretty rigid, you know, you can't alter that at all. So I like the idea of sort of sticking it on the water and then altering them so that it's just skimming the water. There'll be epoxy resin into there. Then take these bits of brass tubing, which is essentially these sort of lumps here. But so you take a bit of brass tubing that will fit over the arrow shaft like that, and we'll epoxy resin them into the wing. It's just so you don't want the sort of the stanchions for the floats going into the balsa, because it will actually work slack. So I think that should do there. Incidentally, in the crash as well, which is of some concern, one of the motors actually got a damage on the bearing. You can hear it there, that one there compared to. So I'm a little concerned about that. It's mainly because we're running these engines pretty close to the maximum. I think they're meant to stand about 16 amps and we're probably drawing around the 18 amps. But I also think 8-inch props are possibly going to be a little big. So we may have to either lock the ends off them or go for, I think they're 8.4. So if we went for a 7.4 would be about smack on, and that would lower the amperage. Or the other route is to have less revs per volt. I'll put you back onto this stand more eye to eye. Yeah. these are the options. Those are 1500 revs per volt, so we could go for a lower spin speed, which would in turn lower the amperage. Or we could have smaller props and stay with that. The thing is, I don't really know how easy it's going to lift off, so I'm going to stick with those because I know the mosquito flew or ought to have flown on them. And when it lifts off, if it lifts off sprightly, I'll be able to come down onto the spin speed and down on the amperage. If it needs everything that they've got to lift off, then what I'll probably do is get another two that can stand a higher amperage. So I'll stay with those revs per volt, which is around about 1500 revs per volt, onto the lithium packs, and just go for motors that can stand maybe 30 amps or whatever. And that's why you have to do all of these checks and what have you. But no, I think that'll do for now. Don't sweat it with those. As long as you get the shape right, you just kind of draw around them. Just sort of once more up to the plan to show you, because we've done this umpteen times. You slice out that piece there, stick it onto a piece of or two slabs of 1/2 inch or inch plank, slice round it, and then just shape as that would be. So you just draw your line from there back across to there, shape it out, no big deal. Right, I think that should do for now. Okay, again, apologies for not being on for a while, but we're back at it. Okay, see you again.